Hello, everyone. Welcome to Uncivil Law for a bit of a hangout discussion stream. A little bit of searching for the channel, trying to figure out where we're going, how we're going to get there. Just want to talk about things and see what's happening. Brian, in respect to your question about Viva, I reached out to him recently to see if he wanted to do something, but he said he was busy. So I don't know about Viva, but we'll see about that again. Viva's a cool guy. Anyways, I want to talk a little bit about the channel and try to figure out where we're going and where we need to go. I was taking a look at my analytics, and the analytics have not been particularly great recently. In the last 90 days, we've been up 632 subscribers. And in the last 30 days, we've been up 131 subscribers. And that is quite a bit less than normal. So according to the analytics, in a 30-day period, I should have about 200 subscribers. So I'm off there. And for the last 90 days, it doesn't have a number in terms of average subscribers. Oh, yes, it does. Minus 78%. That sounds about right, too. So, yeah, in the previous 90 days, it would have been about, it would have been like 1,200%, or would have been something like that. Yeah, so that sounds about right. So, for my channel, this growth rate has been relatively flat. Plus 632 in the last 90 days is not particularly great. And if you take a look at the analytics, it's actually a little bit worse than that. There was a peak on June the 12th, where I gained 90. And then there's the growth rate in the last couple days has been up. 76, 46, 9. But most of the time it's been completely flat. It's almost a flat line for most of it. So there's like one little peak of 100. And there's it's been growing the last couple days, some peaks in the early 90s. But for most of the last 90 days, it's been a really, really flat curve. So that's been interesting to see. In terms of the most popular videos in the last 90 days, the police destroy mobile home during search was an unexpected hit. I didn't expect. It's interesting because I didn't really expect that video to do particularly well. I didn't really think it was going to do well, but it did great. I mean, my average video these days are getting somewhere around somewhere between 1,000 and 2,000 views, give or take, on an average video. So like in the last couple videos, just to show you what we're talking about, like 1,700, 2,100, 1,400, 1,700, 1,100, 1,100, 1,600, 1,300, 1,400. So you get numbers like that, right? And then we got this police destroyed mobile home, 33,000, which is what, about 28 times more than average. So that was really, really notable, seeing that. And I didn't really think it was going to do that well, but it really did really well. In the last 90 days, these are the videos that have been most popular in order. Police destroy mobile home during search. The Micaiah Bryant shooting, watch me have a stroke, which only got 10,000 views compared to 27,000 views for the mobile home one, which is, again, surprising, right? You would think the Micaiah Bryant shooting thing would get more traffic, or at least I would, but it got 10,000 views, and this one has gotten 27,000 views in the same time period. Qualified immunity summarily reversed by Supreme Court, 7,000. Derek Chauvin verdict reached. The Texas abortion ban being legally brillianted, 4,800. F. Chirgo Descadas, 4,800. True crime podcaster gets sued, 4,600. Benettes destroys California AR-15 ban base, 3,800. Secret Service versus Park Police, 3,300. Cosby goes 3,300. So I'm not sure what patterns or any, if there are here to say. The police destroy mobile home during a search and qualified immunity reversed seem to be the best. So I don't know if what that means in terms of trying to cover topics. So stuff where the police are overreaching or doing bad things seems to do well. So maybe steering more into 1983 cases, especially where the police lose. They seem to like that kind of stuff. So here's what I'd like to do. Let's take a look at live stream views. That's a good question. Because I think this includes... Is this all stuff including live streams? Let's take a look at the analytics on live streams. I don't know how to do that. Well, the Micaiah Bryant shooting was a live stream. So some of these are live and some of them are not. The Derek Chauvin thing was live. But I don't think it separately in these analytics puts them live versus not. Let's see. Not that I see. Yeah, not that I see. Let me see if I can see on at least some of the most recent ones in terms of live, how they've been doing. So here's the live numbers we have recently. And these are going to be... Oh, I can sort this by view, can't I? Yes, I can. So what time period is this over? Is this all time? Yeah, that's all time. So that doesn't really tell me what I need to know. Filter. Let's see if I can do this. Description, age restriction, copyright description, title, visibility, views. Doesn't look like there's a way for me to do this. But I'll give you the most recent ones. How about that? The Jen Shah one that we just did, 635, but that's a brand new one. Number 55 of the Capitol riots, 1598. Court rules on the ban of 18-year-olds obtaining firearms, 3,000. Toddy Sue Swanson, 3,000. Law and the Second Amendment issue theme stream, 1,200. Qualified immunity summarily reversed, 7,100. Britney Spears fights for freedom, 1,800. Cosby goes 3,300. Hang out with Nathan Lawyer, 1,300. So the live numbers aren't too bad. They're not great, but they're not too bad. So I don't know if anyone is seeing any channel there, any sort of pattern. Yeah, I'm not sure I see anything that patterns. Have you seen look at videos to see if there's anything correlated with views? I'm not sure if it's based on the length of it. It doesn't seem to be. It seems to be based on the thumbnail, clickbait title, and something else. Attorney react. The audit breakdown. We do some of that. Will you do more videos with Nathan Lawyer? Yeah. Perhaps try to get a hold of some pro-police channels. Yeah. Am I getting more paying members? I think my paying membership is actually down right now. Let me see if there's a way to see that. I know I saw it somewhere. I know I saw it somewhere. Where do they hide it? Well, that's how many members I have. How many members does it say how many I'm gaining or losing? I think I'm down, but I'm not sure where I saw that number. Yeah, I think I'm down. I'm trying to see if there's something that shows how many have gained. I can see total number, but I'm not sure I see where it is in terms of adding or not. Watching You Daily says the ones that have a lot of coverage from other channels like Ruler, Viva, and Rikita have lower viewership. Any perks for channel members anymore? Beyond getting your name, highlighted? Not really. You get a cool little icon by your name, but that's why it's 99 cents. Try Nick's approach and move the live videos off, maybe. The mobile home video has a substantially better thumbnail than our videos. Could be. Yeah, it could be the thumbnail. The thumbnail didn't originally have any faces in it, though, so it kind of goes against the idea of that. So I think what I want to do in terms of trying to get to the channel, I think we need to come up with a more consistent brand focus. So I'm not sure exactly what that needs to be, but I think we'll stop doing oral argument lifetime reactions. I don't think those have been particularly good for the channel in terms of growth. So I think we won't do live. I don't think we'll do Supreme Court React anymore, where we'll do like live audio commentary of court cases. So I think we won't do those anymore. I think we need to try to find. Here's what I want to accomplish. Here's what I want to accomplish, and you guys can help me accomplish this goal. You guys know this. You guys know the stuff in my channel. You know the full width of my channel stuff. And right now, I cover just kind of anything that's interesting. And I think that's fine. It's a little potpourri, but I'm not sure it provides a consistent brand image. So what I'd like to do ideally is try to pick something that's a consistent brand image. And as long as I'm doing it, I might as well pick the one that you guys are going to like the most. Right? Because I'd like this channel to grow and become a full-time job and whatever. So like I could do nothing but Supreme Court Reacts forever. Because, you know, the Supreme Court's been doing oral audio recordings since what, the 1960s or something? So, you know, I've got 50 years worth of oral arguments I could go through. So I can do oral reacts forever. I can do Supreme Court decisions forever. I can do, you know, Capitol Riot series forever. Courts of appeals decisions forever. I can do, you know, I can basically do almost anything forever because there's so much stuff. So the question becomes picking the thing that's going to be most popular with you guys, because I think I'd be equally happy doing just about any of it. And then if I have you guys and I'm getting the growth of my channel, so I'm getting that external, if I'm giving something, you know, if I'm providing a product and my consumer is consuming it, then I'm doing a good job providing the product. So it's up to me to try to determine what the market wants. And to the extent, and any of these things I'm capable of producing. So it's a question of me finding the thing that I like producing, I'm capable of producing, and will be consumed. So it's trying to find which of these things will be it. So is it, for example, doing Supreme Court cases all the time, turning into a Supreme Court coverage case, and we just do Supreme Court cases? Is it me just becoming like an appellate court blog? You know, like, so there's Scottish blog that does nothing but Supreme Court. There's How Appealing, which does Court of Appeal cases. You know, is it doing nothing but Court of Appeals cases? Is it doing nothing but live cases? So is it me trying to switch to cases that are ongoing, like the Haley Page case, like the Toddy case, like the whatever, cases that are live and have ongoing stuff with them? The various beauty dramas that are ongoing, is that what it is? Is me trying to figure out which of these, is it me doing more lives? Or is it me doing more edited videos? Is it how do I appropriately, you know, do that? Am I familiar with constraint programming? Well, vaguely, but I'm not sure why you're asking the question. Garrett Jackson says, how about having a set schedule for live streams? That's a really good idea, Garrett. The reason that I haven't had, well, one of the reasons I haven't had a set schedule is because when I'm doing the lives, like if I'm doing, usually the reason I do lives or the reason I have historically done lives. So I could change the reason I've done lives. The reason I've historically done lives is because something new has happened I want to cover right away. And obviously I can't predict that in advance. There's a new thing that just dropped. There's a new decision for me to reach. There's something that I want to cover right this second. So that's the reason I have historically done lives, which makes it a little bit hard to predict. But that's a fair point. If I had a regular schedule in terms of me going live, like, whatever it would be, like every Tuesday and every Thursday, or whatever it would be, like, so I would drop a video. So say, like, I'm going to drop a video every day at, say, and it needs to be somewhere in the evening for me to make this work. So I'm going to drop a video, say, every day at, say, 6 p.m. Central Time. And then some of those days would be pre-planned live days. So it would always be a video at 6, and then say Tuesdays and Thursdays, or say whatever it would be, we would always do a live. And then Sundays, of course, we don't normally release every day. So it'd be 6 days a week at 6 p.m. because we don't normally release on Sunday, or we do a batch record on Sunday. So I like to keep that day open right now. But we could do, like, okay, we release a video Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m. And on these days it will be live, and on these days won't. So that's a good idea, though. And so that makes sense. That makes sense. It's a good suggestion. Don't know how hard prep is, but if you want to do mobile things, maybe do specific topics on specific days. Okay. Yeah, that's not the worst idea. So the idea would be, if I were going to go down that route, it would be like every Monday is going to be a video on a 1983 case. Or like every Wednesday is going to be a whatever. Maybe. I'm not sure if I want that level of specificity. I'm not sure if I want, that level of theme, but it's a good idea. Different themes for different days. Yeah, Tuesday is a current case day. Thursday is Supreme Court day. Saturday is a wild card day. Yeah. You see, again, the issue there is, depending on how many cases I'm covering, like on live cases, more stuff might be happening faster. So one of the things is trying to get the predictability about what is happening and when, especially with live cases, right? So if I'm not dealing with live cases, I definitely don't have this problem because they're not live cases. But if I'm doing live cases, it's a problem of me being able to say, like, I don't know when the next video is necessarily going to be because the court has to do something, right? And the court may not do something for months on end. So yeah. So it's an issue of, like, okay, if I said every Wednesday and every Friday I'm going to release a current case, and is that viable long term? I don't know. And I mean, I guess I could follow more cases, but then it becomes a question of, the flow of cases being correct. It might be a little bit difficult to manage the flow properly, but it's a reasonable idea. Not as much fan of the Capitol Riot series. I like your other content. That's fair. We've kind of stopped doing Capitol Riot series cases unless something really interesting happens. Because, after 50 of them, I kind of felt like, we cover the field. So now we only do Capitol Riot cases if something really interesting happens. So we cover, or we need to fill in the map. So I don't really intend to keep, or, if I'm just really bored that day. But other than that, I'm not really intending to do more Capitol Riot. We've done 54 of them. We've got the gist, right? So unless something really interesting happens, like the Solve Sits shows up, or, someone does something batshit and crazy, or, then, yeah. So I think the Capitol Riot series is kind of, We will fill in the map, but it's kind of at its end. Jeremy Down gave me 1999. Sorry to hear your metrics have been off target. I've supported you ever since I saw you with Leonard. Awesome. That's a long time. Great. I've been a YouTube member since 10K subs. Love what you do and keep your chin up, hiccups and all. Yeah, right. So this is me just saying, look, the numbers have been off. I'm not achieving my goal, so something's wrong. So to go back to someone who said it at the very top, is this going to be the "it's not you, it's me" discussion? Well, kind of. It's not you, it is me. I am the one providing I'm the one providing the product, and if it's not being consumed, that's kind of my problem, right? What am I wanting to do? What do I like covering most? That's a reasonable question. From 90 knots. I think I enjoy the appellate law a little bit more. So I enjoy the appellate law a little bit more because it's more law, right? So this is the distinction between trial and appellate court, right? Trial courts deal with facts, appellate courts deal with law. And so I like the appellate courts a little bit more because they're a little bit more legally pure. You get to, I don't have to worry about all that fact stuff. Who did what to who and blah, blah, blah. I just tell me the facts. Like, I just don't want to figure it out. I don't really care. I just want to get to the facts. Just get to the law. Just tell me the law so we can do that. So I like the appellate stuff a little bit more because it's a little bit more pure, because the facts are settled and I don't have to worry about them anymore, and it's nice. But that being the case, however, I have been enjoying stuff like the Without a Crystal Ball series, especially to the extent I have live chat, and to the extent that that I have engagement and you guys are engaged, and I feel like I'm teaching something. So, I don't. The reason I cover the stuff I do now is because I enjoy it. Right? There's nothing I cover right now that I would say I don't enjoy. Let me see if I can actually say that definitively. I mean, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. There's I think I can be about as definitive as a person can be when I say there's nothing on my channel I'm not covering that I don't want to. I enjoy it all. I find it all interesting. I find it interesting in different ways. It doesn't necessarily all satisfy the same part of my intellect or curiosity, but it's all kind of fun. So I think I could be equally happy doing any of these things, and if I can pick something I like, right? So if I have a whole domain of stuff that I like, and then there's a domain of stuff that you guys like, and there's an overlap in our Venn diagrams, right? Then we can both be happy at the same time. This isn't necessarily zero sum. So if I can curate my content or select my content or neck down my content to only the good stuff that you like, I'll like it anyway, and I'll also like the results. So this has been part of the problem, is and I've tried different things I haven't liked, right? We've done things on the channel I haven't liked. For example, I didn't really like doing the shorts. So I tried doing the shorts. I even created a different channel. I'm like, I don't like it. And there's been other stuff like that where I've done stuff for a little while and I'm like, I don't like it. So there's definitely been stuff where I've done that, but kind of everything I'm doing right now I like. And so the issue is finding the stuff that will be the best overlap. So that's a good question, 90 knots. Tierbian gave me $5. Mobile home video was both incredulous and relevant to a layman. Edit videos should probably fit the mold. I couldn't believe it wasn't clickbait. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, okay. So stuff that would be more relevant to everyday life. Okay. I don't know if I can necessarily select for that, but Okay, it's a very fair point. Any question? Professor Chaos 9999. I think Tuesday Thursday Live is good because it won't compete with Matt and Blonde and Viva Barnes, which I'm sure you have cross audiences with, unless it's something major that requires preemption. Yeah, I have a really the biggest cross audiences I have, because this is in my analytics. And let me see if I can find where it is in my analytics, because it actually tells me my biggest cross audiences. Hold on. Yeah. So my biggest cross audiences in order are Viva Fry, Emily D. Baker, which I find a little surprising. I mean, I wouldn't think she'd be number 2, but apparently. Steve Leto, Eric Hunley, Nate the Lawyer, Podcast of the Lotus Eaters, which is kind of hilarious. So my sixth biggest crossover is a Carl Benjamin channel. Interesting. Lackluster, Truth Sleuth, Lawful Masses with Blair French, Natalie Lawyer Chick, and Rakita's main channel is actually not on the list, which is interesting, because I think that he and I are the most similar, which maybe why my audience doesn't watch him as much. But yeah, Viva and Emily and Steve are the number 1, 2, and 3 respectively for crossover. So interesting. Noel D says, how about a request day? Yeah, we've been doing stuff by request for a long time. We haven't actually picked a particular day. But it's not the worst idea. Maybe what we could do is we could get a whole bunch of requests and we could run a poll. And whatever's like the most popular of the poll, we could cover that story. That'd be good. So maybe we could find a way for people to submit stories and we could put a poll on it, and whichever one wins, we cover it. So it'd be like Poll Friday. So it'd be like Poll Friday. Whatever the most popular is, we'll cover it on Friday. It's a pretty good idea. It's a pretty good idea. Matt says maybe worth asking people why they even watch the content. Yeah, that's what I mean, yeah, that's kind of implicitly what I'm asking for, but yeah. Why do you watch the content? Handyman Kurt says, is it what you want, or are you asking what the viewer wants? Well, I'm asking what the viewer wants because the channel's already producing the stuff I want. But the stuff I'm producing now is an eclectic mix, it seems to me. It is not as, I think, for example, Emily D. Baker, like her or otherwise, she has a much tighter channel theme. I think her channel theme is more well established. I think you know what you're getting with Emily D. Baker more than you would say with me, in terms of like the nature of the content she's covering, how she's going to present it. She has a more consistent brand, which is one of the reasons she's doing very well. And I feel like my brand is not as well defined, which may be one of the reasons I'm not doing as well. So I'm using this as basically a roundtable to try to find out what kind of brand we have, or what kind of brand we have. So at this point, it's me asking what the viewer wants, or to ask more properly, of all the stuff I'm doing now, if you had to pick a tighter focus for a more consistent brand, what would get me the most viewership and most subscribers and most content? What of the stuff I'm doing is stuff that you and everyone else wants to consume? Call-in show? No, I'm not sure about that, but maybe. F. Rokadal gives me SEK 100. Beware of chasing the broader audience. As a non-American who likes your content, I love if you try to add a universal aspect, as balance is in balancing the utilitarian freedom or order. That's a bit more philosophical in nature, but it's not a bad idea. As to like law outside the United States. The law outside the United States obviously operates by different rules, but I do occasionally touch cases from other Commonwealth countries, right? So, Canada or Australia, or the UK, because their law is close enough that if I try really hard, I can get to something coherent. It's like we have just enough baseline stuff in common. I can, figure it out. Have I done Kilo versus No London? I'm not sure. I don't think so. Where are my viewers from? You miss a lot doing Australia. Well, let's take a look at the analytics in terms of where people are coming in geography. In the last 90 days, my demographics are 74% American, 5% Canadian, 4% United Kingdom, 2% Australian, and then other. I got 10 viewers from Slovakia. Hello, 10 viewers from Slovakia. I hope you're having a great day. Overzealous law enforcement, Professor Chaos. I think I got your super chat about the Tuesday Thursday thing. Yeah. Has Stephen blocked you? I not to my knowledge, but it's okay. He's allowed to, have it. Do Legal Eagle just better? Love the request idea. Law only. Other news. Well, it should be legally based because that's my ability to add value. Is in a legal base, but it doesn't strictly have to be a legal case. As long as it has legal dimensions, which I suppose lots of stuff does. But I found your stuff through Emily's channel. Will you do more firearms law? I was considering actually possibly going in that direction as a tight subject. It's like, oh, maybe I could do only firearms cases. There are enough stuff going on that I could do firearm stuff and cover what the ATF is doing and cover the various courts decisions dealing with firearms in self-defense cases and things like that are firearms. And actually you could even broaden it out to do like knife rights and stuff like that. I was thinking, oh, that could be fun to get into that. But I don't know if I want to make my subject area that tight. It's like only guns. But yes, I'll do more gun cases. The amicus briefs are beginning to hit in the NYSRPA case. And so we could start to cover those cases, but it's really, really good. $5 from bromated vegetable oil. Just look at your top videos. Very consistent theme. Stories about police injustice and jail law in that vein gets views. Follow juicy cases. Yeah, yeah. You know what I need to do? I need to change the font on Streamlabs because that's a little hard to read. Hold on. I've been meaning to do that, and I've been forgetting. So let me do it right now because I can. Hold on. Talk amongst yourselves. Let's see. Alert boxes. Alert box. Okay, super chats. All right. I want to change the color, change the font setting. Text color, highlight color. Super chat message setting. All right, what if I change this to just black? Black is probably better. And change the weight, make it a little thicker. Save. Now let me see if it looks right. Test super chat. That did not work on any level. Why didn't that work? Super chat alert, super chat, test super chat, super chats. Show message, minimum amount to show, font size, font color. What if I change this to black? Save that. Open alert variation. And a variation, no. Test. That I can't read at all. That's even worse. What if I just change it to white? Save that. Test. That works. You can read that. All right, cool. Now rate that's legible. All right, neat. All right, where was I? Gerardo says, I was a supporter for many months. I like the court document analysis and commentary. Went too far left for me on topics. That's an interesting critique, Gerardo, that I went too far left for you. I don't normally think of myself as left. I think of myself much more as right. But, okay. Noted. If you do playlists, you also get better stats per category. I do have some playlists, yeah. $5 from Sidling Edge. He went too far with the January 6th cases, acting like everyone arrested seemed to be guilty and deserved it, when it's starting to show that's not the truth. Well, we assessed every case on its own merits. We did find one case where we thought that the guy had some pretty solid defenses. Where was I? Sliding Edge gives me $5. If you do gun topic suggestions, San Jose, California taxing gun ownership. And Mayor actually said non-compliance equals confiscation. Kick butt Uncivil. Thank you very much. It's very, very kind of you. Thomas said, how do the January 6th cases do analytically? I feel like they could not have much of a following now. Yeah, I've kind of stopped doing them just because I've lost interest in them, to be honest. I was just doing them as long as I found them interesting. Kind of like everything on my channel for that matter. I kind of stopped finding them interesting because they're kind of repetitive. So, we'll do ones more if we need to, but I wouldn't expect to see, the last one we did, which we only did like 2 or 3 days ago, but it was so bizarre because it's the sovereign citizen representing themselves. So, if something really exceptional happens, they'll get an entry in the series. But otherwise, I don't know. Professor Chaos says, I think the January 6th one might get interesting when appeal court really addresses the unconstitutional bail issues in many of the cases. I don't know if there's unconstitutional bail issues. The fact that the trials are being delayed because of the necessity of justice, because of the combination of COVID and everything else, is pretty interesting. But I'm not sure there's unconstitutional issues. Nithrin Arno Ed Dot said, if you thought of doing basic legal terminology education videos, like was a felony versus a misdemeanor, larceny versus theft? Yes, I kind of did that. I've done only a couple of them where I did them as shorts, and I just didn't really like it. I didn't really like doing them. I did like 3 or 4 of them, and it just didn't really work for me. So I guess I could try to do them again, but yeah, when I tried to do it as shorts, it just didn't work. Bizarre bar test questions are fun. Yeah, bar test questions are fun because they really, really make you think. Let me scroll back up and see if there's some old comments here. Have I made an LLC? Not yet. Chloe said apologize. Chloe said, excuse me, with your background in computer science covering the legality of the crypto space, with scams like Earth 2 and Save the Kids. Yeah, not bad. Live videos tank numbers and growth. It does seem to do that, yes. I'd love to see you on one of Iraq Veterans 8888 firearm shows. Man, I haven't heard of that guy in a while. I used to watch his stuff quite a lot. But yeah, I haven't heard of him in a long time. But yeah, that would be kind of cool. Get someone who really knows a lot about firearms and we can discuss the law. That might be fun. And if an FFL got busted for selling illegal guns, it does happen. Stephen Williams says, can you cover anti-canon Scottish cases? There's a Wikipedia list, such as Colson versus George. I think it was replaced by the 11th Amendment. So cases that have been overruled? Maybe. $5 from Garrett Johnson said, how about putting out a case for us to read before a video and then having it discuss it through the chat? Now, Garrett, that is actually a really good idea. That is a really good idea. Yeah, we could put out a specific case and we could discuss it in more of a less impromptu way. That's a pretty good suggestion. I like that suggestion. That's a good suggestion. Good idea. The Miranda case today was awesome, and very useful. That worked out better than I thought it would. It's interesting sometimes because sometimes I'm not necessarily good at predicting what I will find interesting, which I guess isn't uniquely a me problem. But that was interesting, because I was kind of like, it's just another routine thing. But I guess I turned it into a let's see how stupid this is game. And that got fun and got to explain basic principles and say whoever dreamed this up. So that turned out to be a lot better than I thought it did, or thought it would be. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. I'd love to learn more on criminal cases where true crime. Yeah, I went to the true crime convention in Austin to try to understand true crime. I don't really think I have a good mental conception for it, especially for ongoing cases. But some historical analysis might be interesting, but I don't know that true crime is necessarily for me. I didn't feel like I could really figure it out. I didn't feel like it really clicked on what I didn't feel like it clicked on what true crime would mean if I did it. You know? Yeah, I didn't feel like I had a good conception of it mentally. J Boss says, why not cover more of the juicy stuff and cases on an increased basis for viewers? And have a special day just for appellate cases or Scottish Day, for instance, on a consistent schedule. Okay. Okay. So that makes sense. So I assume by juicy cases you are primarily referring to live cases like the Haley Page case or like any of that other stuff that we do would be a live case. $2 from Sliding Edge says I like What Did They Win game show. That was fun. What was I saying? Yeah. So that's so we could have a day for like appellate cases and we could do stuff on other days that are more dedicated to more juicy topics. Although trying to figure out what that is exactly is not exactly easy. More phone reading videos? Yeah, the January 6th videos I think has gotten tired. It's been tired. You like when I do collabs with other law commentators? Thanks. I like it too. I think the regular collab was getting a little bit too predictable. So I will do collabs again with like Legal Bites and Nate the Lawyer. I'm taking a break right now just because it felt like it got so predictable. And I need to change the format. But yeah, I like doing collabs with other lawyers too. Zulu Zeet says you probably shouldn't do anything in which you aren't interested. It would show. Half the fun of this channel is your particular personal angle. Yeah, I think that's right. It would be a mistake. It would be a mistake for me to try to pick something that I wouldn't like doing. Now, to the extent I have lots of different things I like doing, I don't think it's a mistake for me to pick the one that is going to be most popular or most successful. So I think there's a lot of things, there's a lot of subjects or a lot of ways I could take this that would make me happy. So why not pick the one that's also going to make you guys happy at the same time? Right? We can both win in this equation. But yeah, so if your suggestion to me was, why don't you do family law all the time? I'd be like, no, we love family law cases. Too bad. I want more family law. Go away. Right. So yeah, there's definitely subject matter that I don't want to deal with. And there's subject matter I don't want to deal with. But I feel like any of the things I'm currently doing, I could do more. Now, I could only do more in so much as I do less of something else because I'm kind of maxed out. But that's kind of the point. Maybe I should more specialize. But yeah. Martin asks regarding the YouTube thing. You can't compare it because of COVID. That's a fair point. I point out some of my contemporaries and other channels have been growing during this time. Emily is perhaps most notable. She's had a lot of growth in the same time period. So I don't think it's, if it were something more systemic, then presumably it would be impacting her. And it's not. And also Nate the lawyer has grown really nicely. He's up at 90,000 now. So he's grown really nicely recently. So yeah, I don't think the stalling is due to systemic issues like COVID. I think there's something wrong with my presentation style, or the subject matter, or the theming, or something like that. But I also think it's fixable. I think it's fixable. And I think that fixing it won't change what's good about the channel. So Azeroth says, I like that I can listen to you get frustrated and call it dumb legalities and stupid decisions. Definitely has resonated with someone who looks at law and lawyers like they destroy fun. J Boss says, you come off more as a by-the-book appellate-like lawyer. It's not as jazzy as some, but it's extremely important for what it is. Try to show what draws you to it as you have a passion for it. Yeah. Yeah, the appellate law stuff does make me is definitely more my domain, because I get to focus more on pure legal issues and not as much on factual issues. And yeah, and it's less messy in that way. It's more analytical, right? So they're both interesting, but yeah, the trial stuff is interesting because you get to see the fight. So when I'm covering stuff like the Haley Page case, or covering stuff like the Toddy case, or anything like that, you get to see how the lawyers do the fight and the dance of it. And you get to see that give and take of a well-crafted argument. And you get to see how lawyers can take something and shade it in a way that forwards their client's interest. So there's value there. But yeah, the Court of Appeal stuff is more interesting because it's like it's more pure, at least to me. It's more just focusing on just the straight law. So I don't think I want to completely give up the appellate cases altogether, but I'm not sure that I want to just focus on appellate cases, because I'm not sure that I want to give up the like Haley Page cases and stuff like that too. But the suggestions of chat in terms of getting a more predictable calendar on this seem reasonable. So we're going to release videos every day, say at 6 o'clock, for example, and then we're going to say like what those would look like. So maybe it's Tuesday, Thursday, it's a live video. It's going to be something based on what's happening in the real world. Maybe every Friday it's an appellate case or something like that. Maybe every Friday and every Saturday it's an appellate case. And we do that kind of thing. So that was the best. And then there's the suggestion from the chat of maybe it could be something that the people vote on. So I could take a group of appellate cases and get you guys to vote on it. Whatever wins, do that. And then there was a suggestion of maybe get the case in advance to you guys, and then you can read along and we can discuss it that way. So that was pretty good. So those are some pretty good suggestions. Professor Chaos says, maybe drop a video or two on how to brief a legal opinion. A bit dry, I know, but I did it in college on Mapp versus Ohio, and it was fun. Awesome. Can you review some guns and show some laws against or for them? Well, I'd have to physically get the guns, which presents its own set of problems, unless I showed pictures of them. But maybe. Craig Innes gives me New Zealand $10. I am a historian. Your historical cases are great. I'd appreciate any analysis of how the common law evolved and how the U.S. law has evolved comparative to UK. Yeah, okay. I appreciate that comment. Thank you very much. The Music Hole says, I was a member for a while and really enjoyed your earlier content. I like your personality, nerdy, sensitive, but it's not the same as edgy, Nick, or Happy Viva. I think cater to that best. Fair. I mean, I'm not Viva and I'm not Nick, nor should I be. I should be whatever I am. I should steer into my own strengths. Right? I shouldn't try to become I want to be as popular as I want to succeed as much as I can succeed. I don't see any inherent reason that Viva or anyone else should succeed more than me. You know, they are different than me, and that's fine. And they're going to cater to a different audience, and that's fine. But I assume that I can be me and succeed. And the fact that I am not doing that means that whatever I am failing at is still fixable while still being myself. You know, to say that you can refine it and say that you can become better at it is not the same thing as saying you're changing who you are, or at least it doesn't have to be. You have to be cautious about that, but I think the way I'm pursuing it is trying to balance that with a little bit of care. Matt says, even Emily said once that out of the legal channels, you're the most intellectually pure. Yeah, which is good for the eggheads, which is something, right? Ninety Knots says you mainly do IP law, cover more IP patent and trademark law. I appreciate the suggestion, 90 Knots. I try to avoid it kind of specifically because it's my day job. I I don't want to do. I want to learn other things. You know, I feel like I have a pretty good hold on intellectual property law, and so while I could teach it, it's not as much fun as it used to be for me to learn it because I've been doing this for a while and I understand my field. So I don't think I want to really become an IP focused person. Also, it's a little esoteric, although Leonard French does quite well as a copyright lawyer, so maybe I shouldn't say that. But yeah, I don't think it's the direction I want to take my channel. But that's a fair question. It would steer him to my expertise, but I don't. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't. Yeah, it's fine. Professor Chaos says, I took a legal 1 and 2 in college along with some other classes for law enforcement intelligence, so we had to brief cases and create bluffs as well, which is why sometimes we disagree. Fair. Uh, the owl was used said, I would love a history lesson on the courts of law and courts of fairness, equity, but yeah, what they did and how they merged. Uh, okay. Yeah, that's historical, but maybe. Matt Yakowski said, I don't think there's anything wrong with your channel. The numbers are what they are because you're competing against the whole world here on YouTube. Yeah, but other people are growing, so I don't want to just throw up my hands and be resigned. You just need to speed up the presentation sometimes. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, Steph says never stop growing and learning. That's right. Right? How can I do it better? How can I become a better presenter? How can I become more effective? J Boss says, relating to my appellate trial comment, it's all about your passion. Even your response has fire that other content you aren't interested in does not. Tap into that. I think that's part of my channel. I'm just not sure if it should be the whole shebang. I'm just not sure if it should be everything. If I did all appellate law, it would kind of by definition mean everything I'm doing is not current. Because appellate cases almost invariably are 2 or 3 years after the fact, if that. So it would mean that I'm doing stuff that, and it would mean that I'm doing stuff that's not current. It also is a little bit wonkier. It's good for people who really want to understand the law. So it's the best way to do a legal education, but is it the best way to make the channel grow? I don't know. So I think that appellate law has to continue to be part of the channel and will be part of the channel. But okay, let me put it to you this way. My daily release videos are pretty much appellate law cases. I did do recently some live cases that I edited in, but my daily release cases, the non-live cases, are almost always invariably Court of Appeal cases. They have been doing okay. They get somewhere between 1,000 and 2,000 views. Probably about 1,400 on average, if I had to guess, all things considered. So that's okay. But it's not the 30,000 that the destruction of the mobile home thing got. Although that was a Court of Appeals case. So maybe it was South Dakota Supreme Court, but that qualifies as a Court of Appeal, right? So maybe it's just finding courts of appeal cases that also tap people's anger and emotions. So yeah, just steer into that, maybe. Curtis Jones says you need shorter videos and better advertising. The videos could be a little less repetitive. That would mean scripting more, but maybe that's what has to happen so that they're tighter. Excuse me. Azeroth says maybe a day of current law on Friday when surprise content is less likely to drop. Destruction of mobile home was definitely more clickbait. It wasn't intended to be. I didn't really anticipate that, but apparently. Do your batch records that are live stream cut into your later views? I don't think so. I mean, I wouldn't know for sure, but those, I turn off the DVR feature and they're not that well watched, and that's really a hardcore member benefit, or not even a member benefit, but so I don't think it impacts the views, but I couldn't say for sure. Sparky C says, when you're passionate about topic, it comes through and it's enjoyable watch and vice versa. You will find your niche. Awesome to see you engage your audience for input. Matt says, anything against the police or the government being dumb or soft sits are all kind of clickbait. Not that's a bad thing. Yeah, that's probably the right answer, right? The police being dumb, the government being dumb, right? So that's kind of a consistent idea on my channel. Yeah. Police destroy mobile home, qualified immunity summarily reversed, Cosby goes free. Police officer claims illegal 1A retaliation, 1900. So yeah, something with the government being dumb, the police being dumb. The Secret Service case, the Secret Service fights Park Police, that was a great case. So yeah, something with the government being dumb or police being dumb. That's probably a good comment. Professor Chaos says, I think the schedule idea is a great one. Monday, appellate law. Tuesday, Legal 101 live stream. Wednesday, Law Topic. Thursday, Toddy Type Case. Friday, Scottus of the Week. Well, I'm going to copy your comment, and I'm going to post it to myself in admin in my Discord group, because I'm not necessarily sure that's the right answer, but I like the idea, and I want to keep a note to myself. So I'll just put it in my own Discord, because, it's mine. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So I figure I'd state this for the record as long as I'm here, too. So, okay. This is so weird. But I got Nate brought this up first, and then Christina Ray brought this up on my Discord, saying, I don't know if you know what's going on with Katie, but you were named to be in the Katie Hate Discord. There are screenshots that went to the task force investigating it. Just wanted to give you a heads up. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this. So I'm in a Discord that's entitled WOACB. Okay, that's the name of it, WORACB, for the Reddit. And, okay, here's what happened. I was under the impression, and I'm still a member of this Discord as of right now because I don't know what to do about this. I was under the impression that this group was a kind of unauthorized fan group. That they're running a Discord to talk about without a crystal ball. The entire reason I joined it was to find out information dealing with, find out what they're talking about and find out about things that might help with the tea for you guys, right? So, but apparently Katie Joy has been saying on Twitter, like in the last 2 days, that this is a hate group or something. This is a group that is devoted to harming her, which I didn't know. And I have not hung out enough on the channel to figure out. Every time I've ever participated with people, I haven't really gotten the Let's Destroy Katie vibe. But apparently, at least according to Katie, this is a Let's Destroy Katie channel. So, not that I think it necessarily needs to be said, but for the record, I have nothing particularly against Katie. I have not been teaming up with anyone to try to harass or harm Katie in any way. I don't approve of such behavior. I find it reprehensible if it's happening, and so forth and so on. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on now. So this is a thing. This is a thing somehow. So apparently the fact that I'm a member of this group has been sent to somebody and they're investigating something and I don't know what that is. So, yeah. Stephen Bartle says, what law topics do you have a personal vested interest in? I might get more engaged with the stakes, the outcome of the issue following. I don't know if I have vested interest in anything. And I don't really want to cover this. To the extent I do, it's patent law, and I don't really want to talk about that. Yeah. I'm half surprised you haven't touched the Jeremy DeWitt mess. What is the Jeremy DeWitt mess? Do I know that one? Oh, the police impressionist case. Yeah, I don't know if it's that interesting, but okay. I mean, I'll take a look at it. Evening, Kurt. I hope you're well. Thank you, Chuck. Rather than going full scripting, maybe start with the idea of what the case would be. Okay, yeah. Reacting to law memes. Yeah, I have no control over what others do. Yeah, I know. I have zero clue right now. I have absolutely no idea. Hand to heart. I have no idea if any of that is true. I have no idea if it is a hate group. I have no idea if they are doing harassment campaigns. I have no idea what any of that stuff. I don't hang out a lot on there. I just kind of pop my head in every once in a while to see what's happening, to see if there's any tea. I joined it during the whole, Toddy without a crystal ball scandal because they were talking about the case, obviously. It didn't really help, incidentally, but it seemed like a good idea. So, cheers from Argentina. Nice to have you here. So I think there were some good suggestions. So I think the next thing is to pick a calendar and update the banner accordingly. So, tentative idea, Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m. And if we're going to do live days, we will pick consistent live days. Because I think it's good for interaction with the chat. So I'll give that some consideration on like what makes the most sense. Probably Wednesday as actually makes the most sense for a live stream. I don't know if I want to do 2 days in a row though. So if I do Wednesday, do I want to do a live stream on Saturday? Do I want to do a live stream on Monday? Could do that. I could do a live stream on Monday and Wednesday. Not so sure about Friday. Yeah, I could do something like that. I'll give it some good thought. Garrett Jackson says, you said that you want to make this your full-time job. Have you considered hiring someone to help your brand and offer up other things to bring in revenue? Garrett, I don't know how to go about hiring someone to do that. I don't even know what I would go look for. How would I go about hiring someone to do that? Would I look on WeWork or something for like a professional channel manager, or what would that look like in terms of hiring someone to do stuff? Maybe hit up MatPat and ask him for advice. Maybe. Yeah, look at Fiverr, but look at it for what? What should I search for? Like I've looked on stuff on Fiverr before, and I don't really. Yeah, Fiverr's a good start. Okay, I'll take a look at it on Tuesday. I'll take a look at it. I was just seeing if there's anything else in chat that I missed. You have a network of other. J Boss says you have a network of other YouTubers that are friendly with you. Do they give you advice? Yes, they do. I've talked with Nate about it. He thinks it's the thumbnails. His suggestion is make your thumbnails better, which is not a bad suggestion. It's just not a particular talent of mine. I don't have that particular thing in my brain for the artistic graphic thing. I'm not that. And when I've done it on Fiverr and stuff, I've been kind of disappointed in the results. And they want $5 per, which seems a little much, but yeah, $5 per every single one. That's a lot of, yeah. But yeah, finding good thumbnail help is hard. I don't really have great talent in it. But that's Nate's suggestion. Make your thumbnails better. Nick Rikita's suggestion was leaping on particular topics I didn't really want to get into in the election. So, but yeah. Rikita used the guy for thumbnails. Maybe check out his rates. I'll look into it. Yeah. So if thumbnails are the issue, you consider asking for a template or trying your hand designing one. Yeah, maybe I need to go into Fiverr and I need to search for YouTube thumbnail template and use that. So Fiverr for social media manager. I'll check it out, Schwab. I'll check it out. Thanks. That's a good suggestion. All right. I think this has been a good chat. We'll probably do this again sooner rather than later. And we may have this exact same discussion again as part of my thought process. So if we do it again and it sounds exactly the same twice, you know. Yeah. But I think there were some good suggestions here. Jay Boss says, I think exposure is huge. A lot of those guys feature on many different channels and pull views that way. I don't really know how to go about getting exposure in that way, but it's, yeah. Michael says, if you aren't willing to do whatever it takes, I'd be astonished if you're successful here on YouTube. Considering this is a fun hobby, it would be your best bet. Well, I am trying to take it seriously. I just, you know, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to take it seriously. I mean, so I trying to find someone who can really do what I need to get done, who's reliable and reasonable. It's challenging, but okay, fair. Jay Brian says, "Here's your thirst thumbnail. Thank you. That's very kind of you." You know, making it big on YouTube seems to be part lotto, part effort. That's true. That's true. But we can do things to increase our odds, right? Michelle had a good idea. Yeah. Ross says, you do anime reviews and I'll make you thumbnails. I'm not really sure I want to do law and anime. Yeah. All right, I think I'm going to sign off for now. This has been helpful. There have been some good suggestions. I'm going to consider. I think what I'm going to do. Well, I think I'm going to play around with the calendar idea and see if I find a calendar that makes sense for all the considerations. But yeah, 6 days a week at 6 p.m. with some kind of live day is sounding like a pretty promising idea. 6 at 6. Yeah. And then we won't do something on Sundays because we do that batch record on Sundays. So, not the worst idea. Yeah, I'll play with that idea a little bit, but yeah. You need more visual stimulation, less on screen text. Fair. Fair. We could change the way the layout looks. It's been a while since we've done the layout change. I'm not exactly sure what that would look like, but changing the layout is a fair consideration. All right. I'm going to head out, man. It's been fun. Until later, my friends. Cheers. And goodbye.